let's give this another shot, shall we? So once again, we are trying to set up the live so that Dr. Blair can join me on the video as well. And while I ran test runs, generally speaking, I was able to run a test run with another person actually joining the video. So hopefully we get this figured out here soon. In the meantime, feel free, everybody, if you're joining us and you already have a question in mind, if you have a comment, if you have a concern, if you have feedback or a testimonial, please feel free to type them in the comment box while we continue to get this figured out. I did not receive, as of earlier this morning, I did not receive any ahead of time questions for this video session. So I am kind of working on my technical aspect at the moment while we figure out how to get this working appropriately. Good morning, Adina. I'm working. Oh, see, so it's showing that somebody else has joined us this morning. It says I have an option to bring them on camera. I'm not going to just throw you under the bus and do that to you, Adina. So I'm not sure why it would not allow me that option with Dr. Blair, other than it was from the Body Braid page and not Dr. Blair, the person, Facebook page, which I find interesting. But please feel free to share, ask questions, Miss Adina, if you have any in mind while I'm figuring this out. Good morning, my dear. I hope I said your name correctly. Honestly, here's hoping. While I continue to figure out these issues at the moment with all of this. So give me a moment. I know this is also kind of a weird time about to do this. Weirdly, you don't join from your laptop but your phone. So, okay, so Dr. Blair, if you happen to be able to like watch or see or listen to this, Adina did say she was unable to do it from her laptop, but she was able to do it from her phone. Oddly enough, I'm actually thinking I might bring my laptop over here just so it's easier for me to like answer questions that might pop up on the Facebook Messenger, because every time I leave this screen on my phone, it pauses the entire live. So 1 second. Please. Alrighty then. I'm gonna set this right here, and I'll post up the messenger on here, and that way I cannot have to leave the actual live page from here. So give me just 1 moment, ladies and gents.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to put it on right now because I need to work today, and I just realized that I grabbed the wrong end of the thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
Again.
All right, so I am going to be Blair. I can see you now. Outstanding. Why does it not show you on here as joining the live? Doc, if you can, I don't know, try clicking on the post that says is live now, and maybe that will open up the window so that I can invite you to join the video with any luck. All right, there. Let's see if that works at all. All right, so we have a couple more people. That's all great. What is that? Asking somebody to join. Okay, so it's letting me have the option to ask other people to join the video. But it's not offering that for Dr. Blair. Let me see if I just click on your face. Maybe that'll work. No, it doesn't want to let me do that either. Of course it does, because you know it wants to be a pain. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Hey, Vicky. Would you mind, Vicky, just coming on video with me just for a minute so we can at least test that that's working and not like some setting I have on my phone that's creating the problem? I don't want to just throw anybody under the bus by just throwing them on video without notice. But we are having a little bit of difficulty being able to connect Dr. Blair to the video. And I am not the medical professional. So while I might have all the EDS, experience on lockdown, I am not the medical professional. So it'd be really great. Thank you, Vicki, if we could get him on the video. So I'm going to add Vicki real quick and see. It's my phone that's causing the issue. That's maybe my internet that's causing the issue. Good morning, Jennifer. Oh, very good. Looking gorgeous today. So that's not the problem then. So what is the problem? That is a good question, is it not? Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. All right, so it is working from on my end from the phone. And Miss Vicki, unless you have any questions or would like to add anything on the video itself, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you to see if I can add Dr. Blair again, because it only lets me add one person at a
Sure.
time, if that's cool with you.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Vicki. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Okay, so that worked. That's outstanding. Okay, so now Dr. Blair is joining on his phone. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get this right one day. One day, because it says that the audience is Vicki and Adina, and that's awesome, but it's not. Look, so Jennifer, I see that you joined, but it's not giving me the option to ask you to go on the camera either. I'm wondering if it might be a privacy setting on your guys' end, maybe, because I have the live set to public so that anybody can join it. Questions and questions about. Okay, so while we're trying to figure that out, I would like to at least make something somewhat useful and more than just entertainment of me trying to figure out technology. So I would like to maybe start by pointing out some of the differences on our new light braid and our traditional or original version, which we are now calling the extra support. And the reason we're doing that is because the light braid version only has one layer for the bottom half of the core braid on the soft Velcro strap, and the extension straps as well are a single layer. So it gives it a thinner, sleeker profile, especially if you're wearing it underneath clothing. But a compensation for that is that you're losing a portion of the resistive support, basically. So like tightening this down really good with a lot of tension, you're not going to get the same amount of support you would get if you were to use the extra support braid. Mine's the demonstration model so that it's easier to show up on camera. So this isn't white for everybody else. But if you'll notice, this one has both the white and black layer completely down both straps of the core braid. And if I were to wrap myself like a mummy with my extra support braid, it would give me a lot more supportive hold and resistance and tension than my new light braid would be able to give me. So the light braid is going to be great for people that are just wearing it more for proprioception, general postural support, especially while sitting in a chair and you just got it looped over your knees. And just, your quick everyday out and about, because you don't really need all the extra wraps or spirals, and you don't need it really adding a whole bunch of tension. So this is going to be great for just looping my knees like so. If I just am sitting down and I really want my support like this. If I am wanting to get up, walk around, and still have like some amount of that good postural support and hold. I can still wrap this for the everyday or any activity configuration, and it will still give me that up here because up at the top and the harness on the back, and right up here in the top of the core part, it still has both layers. So you're still going to get all of that support. Where we start to thin things out is when you get into the bottom half, where we're going more for the legs, the hips, that kind of area. And that's where you're going to find more of a difference. And because there is no second layer on the soft end of the Velcro straps, you're also going to have, depending on length and height and how many extra reps you're doing in spirals, you may have fewer places where you can do those stabilizing crosses to really hold things in place. So if you're really needing all that extra support, all those extra, holding points almost, you're really going to want to use the extra support model of the body braid. It is, I love it, Nikki. I know I'm a bit of a mess this morning, but I wear this every single day. Well, not my demonstration model, but I wear mine absolutely every single day. And I've had it for almost, I want to say like 9 months now. So it hasn't been like the longest amount of time in the world, but I have yet to really have any true issues with the elasticity, any issues with hold or support, other than because I have animals, other than not cleaning my Velcro appropriately in the beginning of me having the braid. And that really, really gave the shoulder variations. Yes, sir, I can definitely do that. So very important point. If you're having trouble with your braid seeming like it's wearing out, one, make sure that you're washing it appropriately with no fabric softener. And you're not putting it in the dryer, even the air dry cheat, which I've done a lot. Um, Truly air dry, line dry, hang dry. It actually, if you're not super impatient, it doesn't take that long. It's dry by the next morning for me. So, and after that, take care of your Velcro. Clean it gently, all right? Because if you break that scratchy little bit of the Velcro, those are teeny, teeny, tiny loops or hooks. And if you snap or break those, that Velcro patch is done. You're going to have to replace that Velcro patch. But if you're taking good care of it, this is really good, really extra durable, strong Velcro, and it will last a good long while. So let me get this set up real quick, and I'll go over some of the shoulder variations that we have come up with thus far, because we're thinking of and coming up with, and our amazing community is coming up with many, many more all the time. Like, I'm always finding new ways to wear this. So if anybody else has a question while I'm setting this up, feel free to start typing it out. I apologize to everybody. We were really hoping to have Dr. Blair on the video, and I swear we are just technologically cursed. And the last time we tried to do a live on my TikTok, the same freaking thing happened. You have a shoulder that subluxes and is very bad arthritis. You need help to prevent pain when you're wearing your braid. So, Vicki, are you having pain like on the front of the shoulders, top of the shoulders, the armpit, the side of the ladies? Where is the pain in the shoulder area while you're wearing it? Or are you just talking about like the general are subluxations and just kind of keeping it in place? So if you could type that answer out for me while I finish setting this up, I would appreciate that. I'm just going to set this up real quick. All right. So the way I have this, so it looks kind of dark on my screen, but that's because I am on the top of the shoulders. Okay, we'll go over that in a minute. I think it's because I have the comments right here, so it like changes the lighting on my screen. If it's too dark and you can't see, please let me know. Your question about the shoulders, all the variations seen, they're not helping basically, but when you start to use your arms or anything, they just roll back up. Okay, so my mom, she uses the braid as well,
and she has to reach a lot at her desk for her job. She's like 2, 3 monitors. She's always reaching for the phone, doing this and that. So she was kind of having the same general kind of issue. Like, so when she would do, let's just start with the variations that we have this far, and they'll go into more explanation. Once again, if it's too dark, please let me know because my screen looks a little different than maybe what you guys might be seeing, and I have lots of lighting that I can adjust. So this is just kind of putting it on, shoulder down to the top of the, okay, to the top of the upper arm. What we recommend generally, I mean, when you're first putting it on, it's just kind of gonna be right here on your shoulders. And then I personally like to kind of have it more over that corner or end of my shoulder where the rotator cuff is, because I have a lot of pain and instability in that general area. Not only does it help keep it more stable for me, but that direct pressure on it kind of feels good, almost, especially as I move around, feels almost like a little bit of a mini massage every time I move. So I kind of really like it. It isn't like a free massage, right? I know that one of our other adaptations, if you're wearing this and you're getting discomfort in your underarm, on the chest or side of the chest, if you have broad shoulders, any of that kind of stuff, we do get complaints about that. So we've come up with a few options. I'm going to just go over the basics first with those, and then we'll go over possibly troubleshooting some of these issues that you guys have in the comments for us, okay? So I like the rotator cuff version. One of our other options is to very gently, okay, 2 fingers, just don't strain, wiggle, jiggle, right on down the arm here, and then separating the layers. You can separate it so that the white stays on your upper arm and the black is on your shoulder again. And this will relieve some of that tension and pressure that's directly right here, but also still keeping all of that support and postural kind of pull almost, okay? You can also, let me readjust here, change it up and put the white on the top and the black on the bottom. Same kind of idea. I think the difference here is going to be based on individual comfort. If you are attempting this variation here, I'm going to bring this up so I can do the next one. Get these back. If you just want to first try simple, like you've already got it all on, you're moving all the time, you don't want to have to keep doing this with your arms and it's rolling up and down. If you'll notice the seams here, and I'm only pulling because I'm trying to really make it really obvious on the camera here, the black seam line right here, you can adjust by either wiggling with your top straps. That's going to pull the shoulders down and back and kind of bring this up into the armpits more. Or you can be doing the bottom straps here. And if you give yourself a wiggle jiggle with your bottom straps, okay, and a little adjustment here, jiggle this more forward, especially if, say, you tend to maybe have your shoulders too far back. For some people, that is an issue. This can help kind of keep them more in direct alignment without being too far back and relieve a little bit of that pressure here. So that's a small adjustment you can make that might help. It might also help with the positioning of the shoulders. Like, let's say I get it all on, I'm just feeling like this is a bit much. If I do that, it will help me get these a little more forward maybe, and maybe that's where it's actually going to be in good alignment, because those of us that have a far too great of a range of motion in our shoulders, it doesn't just, we tend to be more like this, but we can just as easily be too far back, and that's still going to cause you discomfort and issues. So that is one adjustment you can make. Another adjustment, and this is how Dr. Blair likes to wear his, just in general. He likes to just kind of wear it somewhere along the upper arm, depending on the activity and how far you're reaching. So you just kind of leave it here, down over here. It's still saying that you're live with Vicky. Maybe you can, I did cancel her. Oh, that is so weird. Vicky, is it showing something on your end that's like saying that I'm missing something? because mine shows that I already ended her part of the live video. That is so weird. Okay, so it is offering. Hey, Drew, long time no see, bud. Joe, morning, welcome everybody. So it is offering for me to bring other people on camera. I swear, Doc, I don't know. Technology just really doesn't like you. I am so sorry, Doc. Technology just, it has it in for you, man. I don't know what to say. We have this problem every time we try to do a live and have Dr. Blair on video with us because he's in Canada and I'm in California. And so we are not able to physically be together. And so we try to add it into the video, and every time something does not work and he's not able to actually join the video. Okay, so Joe would like to join us on video real quick. I'm gonna add you in, Joe, and we will see how this goes, and maybe this will help us figure some of this out too. Yeah, give it a minute. Yeah, technology versus EBS, I tell you what. Hey, Joe, how you doing this morning?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Do
Oh,
you
it
want me
works.
to turn?
So you can hear me pretty good?
Yeah,
Good, good. So I can see you. So we are able to only have up to 2 people max on like actual
oh,
video at a time.
well,
So
let me
other people
cancel
can
it
see the
then.
video right now.
You
Go
don't
ahead.
need to, you don't need to look at my dumb face. Let me cancel out the video.
No, that's fine, man. So if, while I have you, do you have any kind of questions that would require like a video, like I can see your representation that we can go over for you?
Yeah,
Or
so
if not, we can just do the usual.
you just do your usual, but
Okay,
Dana, my wife, wears the body braid and our
okay.
9-year-old does. So I know I missed the video call yesterday. I'm really sorry. I thought it was today,
That's perfect.
but at some,
It's okay. It's easy to confuse because we're doing the live today, so that's probably how it all got mixed up.
yeah,
And if you would like to do a one-on-one video Zoom later, we will go ahead and reschedule that for you after the live because it won't let me do both at the same
yeah.
time. And
Let's,
so just for everybody else, if I'm going to drop you from the video,
yeah,
save a little bit of my bandwidth.
there.
Thank you, Joe. And there we go. So if anybody would like some video one-on-one, where they're on video, we're on video, we can see you, you can see us, we can help each other like feedback exactly what we're seeing, please reach out to Body Braid Facebook, the email from the website, or to myself in a DM, and we will get you guys scheduled for a one-on-one Zoom session so we can go over in-depth video, live, immediate feedback, whatever we need to. Let me make sure. Oh, I got 13. Jesus. Hold on. I got to scroll. I don't read that fast. Okay. Hi, Joe. All right, cool. So let's see here. So we got this. So I kind of like this. Okay. It may seem like when you're wearing it like this on your arm, like you're just going to kind of lose all of the support here. But it still gives you some in the mid back here with the posture support. And then as I go to reach forward or do something, I don't think I can actually, I don't wear my tank top, so you're not gonna be able to see my actual shoulder blades in this today. But it does still help bring the shoulders down and back into proper positioning as you reach forward with that resistance on your upper arm. And you can have it higher up by the shoulders, or you could go much lower down right here by your elbows. It's also nice because you can just as easily just kind of give yourself a break here for a minute, especially if you're just kind of got a little fatigue going on up here. And then when you're ready, just gently wiggle and jiggle. We don't strain. Bring her back up. A couple other fun options we have recently discovered via some of my fellow body braid wearers and spoonies is someone had the bright genius idea of she turns her straps on the shoulders inside out. So what she does, she's got the whole thing on, okay? And she goes from the inside to the outside and she rolls that over. And what that has done for her is her discomfort is right over here on the side, right in the wedge of that armpit and along the side of her chest. So that still allows her full-on support for her shoulder and her posture while also taking some of that stress off of right here. Dr. Blair came up with a modification to that method of, instead of doing both layers, doing only one. So flipping, say, the black layer down, inside out, making sure I'm not straining. So I'm going nice and gentle here, smoothing it out. So the white layer, if you can see, is still up on my shoulder, and the black layer is right here on my arm, but it provides relief here while also having less resistance on the arm. So if I'm reaching forward, let me sit back down so I can have some tension on the rest of the braid here. When I reach forward, it feels a lot less resistive than if I were to have the whole thing. There's a huge difference in the amount of resistance and tension, but both shoulders are still supported, if that makes sense. And if anything I'm saying is confusing, if I'm going too fast, if, say, my audio cuts out and whatnot, please put it up in the comments, let me know, and I'll do my best to adjust. So Dr. Blair came up with the idea of doing this one layer flip to help a little bit with that rolling and moving back up the arms every time you reach forward and try to use your arms. And I found I kind of like that too. I have used all of the variations that we've come up with for the shoulders interchangeably, depending on what activity I'm doing, where I'm at, what I'm wearing. It all changes based on comfort and needs, and that is one of the absolute best parts of the braid, is how adaptable it is. And I can change it throughout the day while I'm wearing it. It doesn't have to just be first thing in the morning, this is how I'm wearing it today kind of deal. I am making sure I didn't miss anything we've gone over so far. Okay, so for Dr. Blair is pointing out that, hold on, I gotta say see more to the comment, give me a second here. The key to stabilizing the shoulder is to keeping your elbows close to your body. I knew I was forgetting something. When you raise your arm to move and your elbow away from your body, it will also destabilize your shoulder, which lends to the subluxations or dislocations. I knew that there was a point that I was like missing, and I could not think of what it was. So thank you, Dr. Blair, because I knew there was a part of it that I was forgetting. And the idea of keeping the shoulder straps down towards your elbows helps retrain to keep your elbows close to your body, which is very true. I have found that when I'm just, say I finished my video taking for the day and I'm like in the editing and posting part, so my arms are out and moving more, I do keep my elbows closer to my body when my straps are on my arms versus when they're up on the shoulder and my arms are free to just reach out and do whatever they want to do. Like so. And it doesn't truly restrict your range of motion and movement. It provides a resistance that reminds you to be aware of your body and what you're doing. So even if I did have it down nice and low on my arms and I needed to reach way up and high and above or behind me, I'm still capable of doing that. It's just going to provide some resistance. It's going to provide a, hey, remember me, don't forget, your shoulders and your elbows, and keeping yourself in a good body position while you're doing whatever you're doing. Because especially in my case, it's very easy to work on automatic and to find myself just moving way too quickly, like physically. Like my arms, I'll make a motion, I'll go to grab something or do something or pick something up, and I am moving way too quickly and forcefully. And that, I feel, my current hypothesis is that is part of why I was having so many sudden subluxations, snaps, so to speak, like it feels like it's snapping kind of thing, before I was wearing the body braid. And I feel like having just that little bit of resistance is a tactile reminder, especially for my brain, to pay attention to my body, because I tend to forget about my body and just focus on doing things. And when I have a tactile reminder hey, don't forget your shoulders or your elbows or whatever the movement is that it's entailing. It really helps me kind of pause and think, oh, I need to, pay attention to what I'm doing and maybe slow down. It's basically all of the years of physical therapy that I've been through. And yeah, but I'm an impatient mind and my mind goes too quickly. My body should move a lot slower than it does, but I'm an impatient person. And I have weaknesses in a lot of the smaller muscle groups. So I force or power through them using my bigger muscles because that's what I've always done my whole life. And I think that's what's part of led to just continuous over the years having to go back to physical therapy and having more injuries and starting over from scratch because the other, all right, do a squat. Oh yeah, I got this all day. And they're like, no, you're powering through your squat. Mm-mm. Do a quarter squat. Like, nope, just that's it right there. Slower, slower. And it is a million times harder. And I am suddenly so much weaker. So I feel like, sorry, yeah, I feel like even though I hadn't read his comment yet, I was kind of sort of echoing or demonstrating what Dr. Blair was saying is that it, all those physical therapy exercises over the years and then forcing you to slow down and watch me and isolate and stabilize. This is kind of, I'm not going to go so far as to say it's taken place in my physical therapy because it really hasn't. But it's helping me keep that practice even when I'm not in the physical therapy room. It's helping me to keep my posture up and keep my elbows closer to my body and move more consciously and mindfully, which also is improving my connection to my body, my brain and my body. And I have found that the difference between now and a year ago and the number of bruises that I carry is night and day because I'm not just mindlessly bumping into everything and falling into everything and causing bruises that I don't even know where they came from because even when I'm not wearing the braid, I'm able to move in space more freely. And I think that's because I have a greater awareness, body brain connection, and it doesn't have to be a conscious. I'm not having to sit there and think about it. I'm not having to sit there and think, okay, where is my feet or where is my foot? Where am I walking? How is my foot placement? How are my hips? Are my shoulders back? Am I standing straight? Am I balanced? I don't have to think about it because being in the braids so much is retraining my muscles how to feel when it's in the correct spot versus when I'm kind of not. And so I can feel the difference of what that actually feels like now, as well as my brain being able to connect to my body to relay those messages and to interpret them more correctly and accurately. And I feel like I went on a little bit of a rant and I got a little bit off topic because, scatterbrains. Okay, going over the stabilizing process. Ooh, yes, that is also a really, really big one. Okay, so a lot, and Dr. Blair's right, a lot of the feedback we get that is a concern. Actually, before we go over to stabilizing process, I'm gonna do one more thing about the shoulders, okay? And this is something that my husband who wears this does. And I've seen a lot of people do, and this is where they'll take either one layer or both, and they'll in some way modify, whether it's a strap, buttons, whatever, and they'll kind of bring them in so they're like this. And it will pull it away from the armpit and kind of take some of that tension away from there. But the problem in doing that is, well, it does. Second. All right. I think I hear something. No, I didn't. Okay. So while that does relieve some of that pressure, it also alters what it's doing for you up here. And I have tried kind of a double stabilizing cross. I like that. Now I happen to do extra stabilizing crosses in that region, and that's just naturally me. I don't know if that's kind of what you're thinking on the double cross, or if we're thinking something a little different, but I love to play around. So let's go ahead and do that. Um, yeah, so when you're thinking about doing alterations and stuff, that's fine, but also be mindful of how it might change the function and support of the straps. So just keeping that in mind. Let me go ahead and set this up. So I am undoing it from the loops real quick, having folded over my scratchy Velcro. Hold on. I am getting a notification. Okay, so, all right, so if you haven't seen it in one of my videos, it might be something new to explore, which I absolutely love doing, but that's a trial and error kind of thing. Give me just a second. I apologize, everybody. I will return momentarily. There's some sort of alert going off outside. I don't know if it was just somewhere nearby and I was able to hear it, or if I'm missing something, but we'll have to see. Okay. Video for the double hip wrapping yet. No, not yet. It is. Okay, yeah. And Dr. Blair, even though he can't join me on video itself, he is on the live with us. You can see him posting some of the comments, and he can answer some of the more in-depth physiological and medical type questions that I may not be quite as qualified to answer while I'm getting this set up. So one of the things I like to do is when I'm doing my cross the body is I just do a stabilizing cross to hold these in place. And the way this works, any stabilizing cross, and don't strain and pull on your braid. It's not good for you or your braid. It's too much tension. I'm doing it so I can kind of really show on a video, so it's easier for you guys to be able to see. Okay, so you're gonna have your black and your white layers here. In between the seams, you can open it up for a space. I kind of like to call these squares. So when I talk about, or Dr. Blair talks about stabilizing crosses, what we're talking about is taking one strap and putting it through in between those two layers of another strap. Generally, what you're going to be doing is taking your soft Velcro, or if you're using extension straps, the end of that extension strap, and bringing it through the squares on the lower strap, also known as the scratchy end. Okay, and you're going to slip it through, and it's going to kind of look like this. And what that does is it can keep things from slipping farther than you want them to slip. So it is a stabilizer, right? It keeps this from going too far up or down. It keeps this from going too one way or the other. And that's what we want to do. I like to put these at virtually every point that my straps will cross when I'm able to. When you're doing a stabilizing cross and we're talking about hip support, it's really important that the higher up you do the cross on this strap, the greater your hip support is going to be. And when you're sitting down and you're putting this on, it's not going to look like it's in the right place because everything's going to kind of shift as we stand up. So you may have to try this a few times to find the right place for it and then mark it right on it. Sew a little marker on there if you like, something that indicates this is where I usually want it to cross, or my whatever the support is when I'm doing this kind of configuration. So what I like to do when I'm doing my soft Velcro straps going across my torso. I like to put them in extra stabilizing crosses. And you'll see in some of my earlier videos that I don't do this step. And that's because it wasn't originally part of the steps, but I was always like sitting on them and trying to hold them in place. And it was becoming a pain in the butt. So I just started automatically doing that because that keeps a slight amount of tension, just a little snugness there. So I can then be free to use my hands to do all my other adjustments. Now I'm going to take my scratchy end here and my soft Velcro, and I'm going to wrap them around to the inside of my leg. And this is the any activity configuration. And if I were to just Velcro that right there, I've got a stabilizing cross up here, right? And when I stand, I didn't pull it through the loop because I'm just doing a quick example. It will allow me to move it a little bit, but not like super forward. And that's the point of this stabilizing cross right there. I'm going to grab the extension straps real quick so that I can have more length to demonstrate stabilizing crosses over the thigh and how they provide support to the hip. So give me as I step out of frame temporarily. Outstanding. I'm going to use my light extension straps because they're what I have available at the moment. And I'm going to attach the extension straps to the scratchy end of my core braid here. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not missing anything here real quick. Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Blair's explaining like why it's so important to do and what it supports, which is all very, very true. But if I sit and stop and reread everything he says, this is going to be a really long live. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick, I'm just going to do one over this shin here. I'm not going to go all the way down to my foot because I want to just kind of, for expediency's sake. One stabilizing cross we're starting to recommend for everybody, and this is when you go down all the way to the foot, or if you're just staying at the shin level here, is when you cross those straps, right? When you're spiraling down in the back up and you cross that strap right behind the knee for the second time, I highly recommend doing a stabilizing cross right here. And when you do this yourself, the first few times it might take a little while, but then it's less than 5 minutes, then I have the whole thing on my body. I go super slow and I'm like holding myself in awkward positions because I'm really trying to make it super clear on the videos because I'm not physically there helping you guys. So it's cross behind the knee here, and this is going to give me really not only additional support to my knee, but it's going to help whatever spirals and crosses I have on the lower part of my leg and whatever I got going on above it kind of stay separate and in place, basically. So now that I have this, we're going back over the top of the thigh here. This is where it's important to do another stabilizing cross. This is really, really, really key. Really key to helping to avoid that slippage of the braid strap going over your kneecap, which is definitely not what we want. So I'm going to take my end that I'm working with here, and I'm going to do a stabilizing cross, okay? And it may look like, depending on your build, that you're using the soft Velcro and you're pulling it out through this way. It may be that you're doing like I am and you're using the scratch end. What's important is that you're holding things in place, okay? There's the alarm. Okay, let me do this real quick and then I have to go figure out what's going on outside on my property, of course. So when I do that, and I'm just gonna attach this quick down under here like, all right, because I really want to show you guys what it's gonna do for me here real quick. This is gonna allow me some adjustment, but not like way too much. So it's like loose and I'm like kind of tripping on myself. This is directly on top of my hip. Really, really important for that hip stabilization. This is my body braid butt lift here. Okay, this, the higher up you can get this while comfortable, the better your hip support's going to be. It's really going to provide that whole pelvic girdle kind of almost support there. And this right here, the stabilizing cross, is going to keep this from going all the way down here or all the way up there. So give me, yeah, yes. So you definitely want that cross that's behind the knee to stay behind the knee. I will be right back momentarily because once again, there's some sort of alarm. I apologize so very, very much. What is my alarm going? I am so very confused. I don't know what's going on. Something is apparently playing ding dong ditch with my property alarms. I honestly couldn't say. All right, let me do the other side real quick here real quick, and then we will do like a 360 and give you guys a better view here. So once again, once you get the hang of it, this actually goes fairly quickly because you get really familiar with where all the tension points are, where all your favorite places to cross are, when it's too tight, when it's not tight enough. Like you start doing it so much that you kind of know which square is the square you want for whatever you're doing. So let me throw this on here real quick. All right, here we go. Back here. Oh, Joe, I hope you're not too overwhelmed. I know it's a lot, and part of the reason why I have so many instructional videos is because it's overwhelming for a lot of people. It was overwhelming for me, and sometimes you need to see more and hear me talk less. Sometimes you need to hear me explain it more in order for it to kind of click, because everybody processes differently, which is also why I am, yes, I'm about to do the full adjustment here in just a second. But that's why I have like a million videos of almost the same thing. Now, granted, not all of them are on the website itself. That's because most of them are full of bloopers and gaffes and other fun things of me just trying out new things. But I tend to try and put those on my personal social medias and in the Body Brain Banter group that's here on Facebook, so that I can get feedback from all of you as to what makes sense and what doesn't. Did the double cross? Oh yeah, I can do. I think I can do that one next. Let me. I swear, I think there's something messing around. Maybe it's a raccoon or something. I don't know, something out there messing around with my sensors. Okay. Once you have it on and it's secure, we're gonna do our adjustments from the top down. This is very important, all right? So you're gonna recheck that fit at the shoulders. You want this to be a little bit, not like loose, like baggy, but you want it to be comfortable. And then I can, at this point, adjust that tension that's right here, or maybe move where I have my shoulder straps. Then what we're gonna do is just like when you first put on the braid, give you a little massage with the top straps. This helps me decide if I want it up high, in the middle, or down low, because each of those feels very different and provides a support in a different kind of way. All right. Top straps. Okay. Then we're going to go and we're going to do our bottom straps here. These ones. And I'm going to give a little wiggle jiggle, shimmy shake. You should not be, and don't do as I do right now. You should not be cranking these and providing all that tension. That is not good for your body. It's not good for the braid. And it can lead to a lot of discomfort and issues and uncomfortable fitting of the braid. Okay. So we're going to make sure that that feels good where it crosses on my back, that I like where that is. All this feels good. We're working our way from the top to the bottom. Then I'm going to take my strap from the bottom and follow along how I wrapped it. If I have too much extra give, if I have too much extra length, if it's too loose, I gather that with me as I go and bring it up, and then I can adjust and tighten like so. This will also help me determine if I like where the stabilizing cross is. Because before I did all this adjustment, this sat slightly differently in position on my hip and on my legs. So this will tell me where I need to move my crosses. On the other side, let's say, I'm going to just for an example purpose, I'm going to crank this up real good. Okay, let's say that it's, whew, that's too tight. Okay, this is how you fix that, okay? You're going to start from where you attach it. If it's too tight, start from where you attach it. Undo it, bring it down 1, bring it down 2, however many you think you need, okay? And then you're going to feed that excess length back out your straps. Okay, through your stabilizing crosses to the point, like, let's say everything was nice and smooth and even until I started to spiral back up my leg. And that's when I cranked it too much. Okay, well, when I loosen it, I can loosen it just until about that point because everything else feels smooth and comfortable. And one leg can be adjusted differently than the other. There may be some days where I need a lot more support on one side than on the other side. So that side might either have more tension on it, might have extra spirals on it supporting the joints more, or it might just be, it could be completely different. I spent most of the last EDS conference with like one leg one way and the other leg the other way, mostly for demonstration purposes. But I was quite comfortable too because I was making sure to listen to my body, adjust the braid as needed, make all my adjustments small, wiggle, jiggle, okay, and never strain. We get a lot of, I'm too tired to put on the braid. It takes too much energy to put on the braid. Now, it does take a lot of mental energy, especially in the beginning when you're figuring it out. Then you kind of get some muscle memory going, and that takes some of that strain away. Okay, it can be physically exhausting because you're moving your whole body to do it, but it should not be exhausting because you're straining. If you are exhausted because you're straining the straps and you're straining your body, you need to ease back, be more gentle with yourself and with the braid, and be patient. Wear this for 10, 15, 20 minutes at a time to start. Wear it like almost too loose to begin, just to get the feel of how it fits on your body. Then slowly start setting it to where it's more going to give you that long-term what you're looking for. Build up. These are skills that we build up. We're not born running marathons or sprints. We have to build up those foundational skills, and our body needs time to adjust to what we're doing to it because it is a workout. It doesn't feel like it sometimes. It just feels good. It feels supportive. It feels like I can feel my body again. Please set a timer if you're like me and you have a hard time keeping to limits, especially if it feels good. Otherwise, you can kind of overdo it and you feel like you've run a marathon the next day because you worked the whole day the first day. I may be guilty of that repeatedly because I have issues. So learn from my experiences, set timers, set reminders, even if it's just, you know what, I'm gonna take this off the shoulders and give all this a break for 10, 15 minutes. You know, this is after you've built up time as a whole, okay? Because I have found that there are days where I really do need to have this off of my shoulders a lot. And then other days where I don't even notice I'm wearing it. Your body changes day by day, and this braid will adjust with you. Okay, so let me make sure I'm not missing any comments. How did the double cross over the abdomen for the extra low back support? Okay, so I can do that, yes. Before I move on to that, do I see any new questions about what we've gone over so far? Almost an hour. We don't want to rush things. This is very true. I do think that Dr. Blair is right. I have been trying out things and putting them up in the Body Braid banter group, but those aren't going to be the end all be all videos of it. I'm going to be doing more in-depth instructionals now that we played around and figured something out. How do I break it down step by step so everybody else can figure it out with me? It is on very near the top of my list of things to do a breakdown video of, and I did learn the hard way. First time I did a live, it was like 2.5 hours. I was going strong because you guys buoy me up. You give me energy. And Dr. Blair had to point out that it had been like 2.5 hours. And I was wiped for days after that because once you come down from that high, you know, you really come down from that high. So, yeah, the lower back support. Everybody, if you're part of our Facebook group, Body Braid Banter, please go to the guides, look them all over. I try to break them down by like braid part or body area, but go through them all. Take notes on if you have a question, something that didn't make sense or something you want to know more on. You can also please contact us, DM me, send a message to Body Braid or an email. We will schedule you for a one-on-one so we can like spend a whole hour just specifically your body, my body. How can we make this work for you for whatever it is you need? Confusion. Hey, I'm going to try something for this body part that I hadn't tried yet. We'll work it out. Please reach out to us. I appreciate everybody being patient with us today on all of the technical issues. And I will be doing more videos here soon. I had a trip this last weekend and a crap ton of medical appointments. So I am, once again, life gets in the way. But please, if you've asked for something and I had not delivered, remind me, please. My memory is like a sieve. I mean, let's be honest, it's like dripping through a cheesecloth. So please remind me. I will not take offense, okay? Please check out our Facebook group, Body Braid Banter. It is a private group, so you can feel safe and secure that whatever you're posting, whatever questions, videos, share your own stories. It will be on there. I will never share anything outside of that group without your express permission, okay? Even if it's like, I really love your testimonial, it really moved me, I will ask each and every time you make a fresh comment if I'm allowed and have permission to share it outside of that group, either to Body Braid themselves, to my other social media, or if it's something that was shared to me like in a DM, to the group as a whole. Okay, so we really value our privacy. We really value your guys' feedback. We really value this community and connection that we've all made. And now my Google is yelling at me, so I guess it really is time to be done. I will be doing more videos soon. Please post comments and feedback in this afterwards because it will be posted to the profile as soon as it finishes uploading, and I will post it to the group as well. Thank you everyone for being patient today. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we will be doing more in the future, and see you next time.